A poor janitor screamed at a billionaire CEO to stop her from getting in her car. She had him arrested. Then he whispered 7 words that made her freeze in terror. He knew her darkest secret, the one thing that could destroy her: a dying brother, a dying daughter, and a miracle drug that was actually killing them both. In 60 seconds, a father who cleaned floors would force the most powerful woman in Chicago to make an impossible choice between her empire and the truth. This is how one man's desperate love saved 2 lives. "Please God, just give me a sign. Show me what to do." Liam Byrne whispered those words every morning, kneeling beside his daughter's bed, watching her sleep, watching her chest rise and fall, counting each breath like it might be the last. Maya was 7 years old. She had her mother's smile, her mother's laugh, her mother who'd been gone for 3 years now. Cancer took Sarah when Maya was only 4. Too young to understand why mommy wasn't coming home. Too young to understand why daddy cried in the shower where she couldn't hear. Now it was Maya's turn to be sick. But this wasn't cancer. This was something worse. Something with a long, complicated name that Liam could barely pronounce. The doctors called it a disease that ate away at the brain. Slowly, cruelly, like rust consuming metal from the inside out. First, Maya couldn't hold a pencil. Then she couldn't tie her shoes. Then she started forgetting things. Little things. Like where she put her favorite doll, what she ate for breakfast. Then bigger things. Like her teacher's name, her best friend's birthday. Last Tuesday she looked at Liam and asked, "Who are you?" 5 minutes later she remembered. "Daddy," she cried, throwing her arms around him. "I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm so sorry. Why did I forget you?" Liam held her and lied. "It's okay, baby. Everyone forgets sometimes. It's okay." But it wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. The doctor said Maya had maybe a year, maybe less. The disease moved fast in children. There was no cure, no treatment, nothing they could do except make her comfortable. "Take her home," the doctor said. "Love her. Make memories. That's all you can do." Liam was a janitor. He made $14 an hour. He had $1,700 in his savings account. He lived in a 1-bedroom apartment where Maya slept in the bedroom and he slept on the couch. He worked night shifts so he could be with her during the day, so his mother could watch her at night while he cleaned office buildings downtown. His mother, Maria Byrne, 72 years old, hands twisted with arthritis. But she came every single evening, fed Maya dinner, read her stories, sang her songs in Spanish, songs from the old country, songs about angels and saints and miracles. "Mijo," she told Liam one night, you pray hard. God hears fathers who cry for their children. He hears them." So Liam prayed. Every morning, every night, kneeling by Maya's bed like his mother taught him when he was small. "Please, God. Please. I'll do anything. Just save my baby girl, please." For 11 months he prayed. Nothing changed. Maya got worse. Then one night Liam found something that changed everything. He was cleaning offices on the 5th floor. Langford Biomedical, big company, rich company. They made medicines. They did research. Important research that was supposed to save lives. Liam cleaned their offices every night. Emptied their trash. Vacuumed their carpets. Wiped down their desks. They never looked at him. Never said hello. To them, he was invisible. Just another janitor. Just another nobody pushing a cart. That's why they were careless. That's why they left papers everywhere. Had phone calls while he was in the room. Talked about secret things like he couldn't hear. Like he wasn't even human. 3 weeks ago, Liam was emptying a shredder in one of the big offices. Dr. Finch's office. Chief scientist. Important man. Rich man. The kind of man who wore suits that cost more than Liam made in a month. The shredder was jammed. Paper stuck halfway through. Liam pulled it out to fix the jam. He almost threw it away. Almost. But something made him look. Just for a second. Just a glance. He saw words. Medical words. And then he saw a name. A disease name. The same disease killing his Maya. His hands started shaking. He looked around. Nobody was there. Everyone had gone home hours ago. Slowly, carefully, he smoothed out the torn paper. Read what was left. His heart started pounding so hard he thought it would break through his chest. It was a test result. An experiment. They were testing a new medicine. A cure for the disease-killing Maya. The disease they said had no cure. But here it was. Proof. They had something. Something that might work. Something that might save her. But then Liam kept reading, and his hope turned to horror. The medicine wasn't working. It was making people worse, making them die faster. The paper showed numbers, test subjects, 14 people, 13 dead, 1 in a coma. All of them had gotten sicker after taking the medicine, much sicker. The medicine that was supposed to save them was killing them. And there at the bottom of the torn page was a name. Subject KL047. Next to it, handwritten in blue ink, critical decline. Family not informed. Liam stared at that paper for a long time. His mind raced. They were lying. This company. These rich people in their expensive suits. They were lying about having a cure. Worse, they were testing poison on dying people and not even telling their families. He folded the paper, put it in his pocket, finished cleaning the office like nothing happened, but his hands shook the whole rest of the night. When he got home at dawn, his mother was waiting. Maya was still asleep. "Mijo, you look terrible. What's wrong?" Liam showed her the paper, explained what it meant, what he'd found. His mother's face went pale. She was old. She'd seen bad things in her life, but this shook her. "What are you going to do?" she whispered. "I don't know, Mama. I don't know." He tried everything. He called the FDA, the government office that's supposed to check medicines, make sure they're safe. They said, "Thank you, we'll investigate." It could take months, years maybe. He called an ethics board. They said they needed more proof, more evidence. One torn piece of paper wasn't enough. He tried emailing the company's executives. His emails bounced back. Access denied. A janitor couldn't email the important people. For 3 weeks, Liam carried that paper in his pocket, prayed over it, showed it to his mother, asked God what to do. Every day, Maya got a little worse. Every day he felt more helpless, more desperate. Then this morning, something happened. Liam was leaving the building after his shift. 6 in the morning. Sun just coming up. He was tired, so tired. He'd been up all night cleaning and thinking and praying. Then he saw her, a woman, tall, beautiful, wearing a suit that probably cost thousands of dollars, walking fast toward a black car parked at the curb. Security guards around her. Driver holding the door open. Liam had seen her before, in pictures on the walls, in company newsletters. Aveline Langford, the CEO, the owner, the woman whose name was on the building. Something inside Liam snapped. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was desperation. Maybe it was God finally answering his prayers. He didn't think. He just acted. He ran. Ma'am, wait. Don't get in the car." The security guards spun around, hands moving to their guns. The woman stopped, turned, looked at him like he was crazy. "Don't get in the car, please. It's not safe." He didn't know why he said that. It wasn't true. The car was fine. But it was the only thing he could think of. The only way to make her stop. Make her listen. Make her see him. The guards tackled him, hard. His face hit the pavement, his arms twisted behind his back. Pain shot through his shoulders. Someone was shouting. Police sirens wailing. Red and blue lights everywhere. "I'm not trying to hurt anyone," Liam gasped. "I just need to talk to her. Please, just 5 minutes. Please." They zip-tied his wrists, dragged him to his feet. The woman, Ms. Langford, stood 20 feet away. Her face was angry, scared, confused, all at once. Police arrived. Bomb squad. They searched the car. Searched it top to bottom. Took an hour. The whole street was blocked off. News cameras showed up. Crowds gathering. Finally, an officer walked over to Ms. Langford. Shook his head. "Car's clean, ma'am. No explosives, no devices, nothing." She turned to look at Liam. Her eyes were cold, hard, furious. "Arrest him. I want him charged with making terroristic threats, false alarm, everything." "Wait!" Liam shouted, his voice cracked, desperate. "Please, just listen. It's about your brother. It's about the medicine. It's about neurosynaptic decay syndrome." He saw it. The moment her face changed, the color draining away, the anger replaced by something else. Fear. Raw fear. She held up one hand. "Wait." The officer stopped. Everyone stopped. The whole street seemed to hold its breath. Ms. Langford walked closer. Slowly, like she was approaching a wild animal. She stopped 5 feet away, looked down at him, studied his face, his janitor's uniform, his name tag. Liam Byrne, Custodial Services. "What did you just say?" Her voice was quiet, deadly quiet. "Neurosynaptic decay syndrome," Liam repeated. "Your brother has it. I know because my daughter has it too. She's 7 years old. Her name is Maya. And ma'am, I need to tell you something. Something about the medicine your company is making. Something terrible." For a long moment, she just stared at him. Then she turned to the officers. "Bring him upstairs. Not to a cell. To my office. I want to talk to him." "Ma'am, I really don't think That wasn't a request." 20 minutes later, Liam sat in a conference room. His wrists were still zip-tied. His face was scraped and bleeding from where it hit the pavement. His whole body hurt. But he was alive. And she was listening. Ms. Langford sat across from him. Her security chief stood by the door. She'd sent everyone else away. It was just the three of them, her Liam and the guard. "You have 5 minutes," she said. "Explain everything, starting with how you know about my brother's condition." Liam took a deep breath. This was it, his one chance. God's answer to all those prayers. He couldn't waste it. "I clean your offices," he said. "Every night. 5th floor. For 11 months now. You people leave papers everywhere. Have meetings while I'm emptying trash. You don't notice me. Nobody ever notices the janitor. So you've been spying on confidential company business." "No, ma'am. I've been doing my job. You just forgot I have eyes and ears." She almost smiled. Almost. "Go on." 3 weeks ago, I found a paper. In Dr. Finch's office, stuck in the shredder. It was torn, mostly destroyed, but I could read enough. It was about the new medicine. The cure you're making. For the brain disease. The one they say has no cure. Except you do have something. You're testing it. On real people. Sick people. That's called a clinical trial. It's how medicine works." "I know that," Liam said. His voice was steady now, strong. "But ma'am, the medicine isn't working. It's killing people, making them worse. The paper showed results. 14 test subjects. 13 of them died. One's in a coma. They all got sicker after taking your medicine. Much sicker. Much faster than the disease normally moves." Ms. Langford's face had gone very still. "That's impossible. We've seen positive results. Real improvement in patients. Including my brother." "For how long?" Liam asked quietly. "How long did he improve before he started getting worse again?" She didn't answer, but her silence was answer enough. "There was a name on that paper," Liam continued. "A patient ID, KL047. Next to it someone wrote, 'Critical decline. Family not informed.' Ma'am, I think that's your brother." I think his name is Kellen Langford, and I think nobody's told you he's dying." The room was so quiet, Liam could hear his own heartbeat. Ms. Langford sat frozen. Her face was white. Her hands gripped the edge of the table so hard her knuckles turned pale. "Why?" she whispered. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because my daughter is dying," Liam said. His voice broke. "Her name is Maya. She's 7 years old. She has the same disease as your brother. 6 months ago, before I knew any of this, I tried to get her into your trial. Your company said no, not enough insurance. Can't afford the co-pays, so she didn't get in. And ma'am, I thank God every day you rejected her. Because if you hadn't, if she'd gotten into that trial, she'd probably be dead right now." Tears ran down his face. He didn't try to hide them. Didn't try to be strong. He was just a father. A desperate father who'd run out of options. "I don't want money," he said. "I don't want revenge. I just want the truth. I want people to know what's really happening. And I want you to stop this before more people die. Before your brother dies. Before somebody else's little girl dies. Please. You have the power to stop this. I'm just a janitor. Nobody listens to janitors. But they'll listen to you." Ms. Langford stood up, walked to the window, looked out at the city, her company, her empire. For a long time she said nothing. Then she pulled out her phone, dialed a number. "Dr. Finch, my office, right now." She turned back to Liam. Her face had changed. The CEO mask was back. Cold, hard, determined. "If you're lying to me, if this is some kind of scheme or setup, I will destroy you. Do you understand?" "Yes, ma'am." "But if you're telling the truth, if my chief scientist has been lying to me about patient outcomes, if he's been hiding deaths and falsifying data..." She paused. "Then I'm going to burn this company to the ground and build it back from scratch. And you're going to help me do it." Liam nodded. He believed her. This woman was dangerous. He could see it now. Not dangerous like Dr. Finch probably was. Dangerous like a mother protecting her child. Like a sister protecting her brother. Like someone who'd been betrayed and was ready to fight back. The door opened. A man walked in. Older. Gray hair. Expensive suit. Carrying a tablet. He looked at Liam, frowned, then focused on Ms. Langford. "Aveline, I thought you were flying to Boston. What's going on?" "Marcus, this is Liam Byrne. He works on our custodial staff. He has information about the NeuralGen trials. Specifically about patient deaths you may not have reported to me." Dr. Finch's face didn't change, but his hand tightened on the tablet, just slightly. Liam saw it. Ms. Langford saw it too. "I don't know what a member of the cleaning staff would know about highly confidential research data," Dr. Finch said carefully. "He found a document. In your office, a shredded document showing patient outcomes that don't match what you've been telling me." Her voice was ice cold. "I want you to pull up the full trial data. Right now. Every patient, every test result, raw numbers. I want to see it all." "Aveline, there are privacy regulations. We can't just display patient data in front of unauthorized personnel." "Then he waits outside," she snapped. "But you're going to show me those files, Marcus, right now, because my brother is in that trial. My brother who you told me was responding beautifully to treatment. Who you said was getting better. Pull up the data. Now." The professional smile faded from Dr. Finch's face. He looked at her for a long moment, then at Liam, then back at her. Something dark moved behind his eyes, something calculating. "You're making a mistake," he said softly. "Then prove it. Show me I'm wrong." What happened next would change everything. For Liam, for Ms. Langford, for her brother, for Maya, for everyone. Because Dr. Finch didn't pull up the data. Instead, he set down his tablet, straightened his tie, and said 6 words that made Liam's blood run cold. "This goes much deeper than you think." The words hung in the air like poison gas. This goes much deeper than you think." Liam felt his stomach drop. Ms. Langford's face went from angry to something else. Something harder to read. Fear mixed with fury. She stood up slowly, never taking her eyes off Dr. Finch. "Explain that," she said. "Right now." Dr. Finch shook his head. He looked tired suddenly. Older. Like he'd been carrying a heavy weight for a long time and was relieved to finally put it down. "I can't. Not here. Not with him in the room." "He stays," Aveline said. "He's the reason we're having this conversation. He's earned the right to hear whatever you're about to say." "That's a mistake." "It's my mistake to make. Talk, Marcus. Now." Dr. Finch looked at Liam. Really looked at him. Not the way rich people usually looked at janitors. Not through him, but at him. Like he was seeing a real person for the first time. "You have a daughter, 7 years old, Maya." Liam's blood turned to ice. "How do you know her name?" "Because I know everything about you, Mr. Byrne. I know you live at 2847 Webster Avenue, apartment 3B. I know your mother Maria comes every evening to watch Maya while you work. I know you've been late on rent twice this year. I know you applied for compassionate use access to our trial and were denied. I know all of it. You've been watching me." "We watch everyone who gets too close to information they shouldn't have," Dr. Finch said. He wasn't threatening. He was just stating facts. Like he was describing the weather. "The moment you took that paper from my office, you triggered surveillance protocols. We've been monitoring you for 3 weeks." Liam felt sick. They'd been watching him, watching his apartment, watching Maya, watching his mother. "Why didn't you just stop me, arrest me, fire me?" "Because we wanted to see what you'd do with the information. Whether you'd go to the press, the authorities, whether you'd try to blackmail us. You did none of those things. You just kept working, kept praying, kept hoping." Dr. Finch almost smiled. "That's why I knew you were genuine. That's why I'm willing to talk to you now." Aveline slammed her hand on the table. The sound made both men jump. "Enough. Stop talking about him and start talking about my brother. What did you mean this goes deeper? How deep, Marcus? How deep does this go?" Dr. Finch set his tablet down carefully. He walked to the window, looked out at the city the same way Aveline had minutes earlier. When he spoke, his voice was different, quieter, sadder. "Neurogen doesn't work. You're right about that. The drug accelerates the disease instead of stopping it. We've known for 4 months." "4 months," Aveline repeated. Her voice was shaking. "You've known for 4 months that the treatment is killing patients, and you said nothing. I said nothing because I was ordered to say nothing. By who? I'm the CEO. I'm your boss. Who could possibly order you to hide this from me?" "The people who really own this company," Dr. Finch said. He turned back to face them. His face was gray, exhausted. "Aveline, do you remember how we got funding for Neurogen 3 years ago? We were broke, running out of money. The banks wouldn't lend us anything. Traditional investors said the project was too risky. We were about to shut down. And then Helix Capital came in," Aveline said slowly. "They gave us $200 million. They saved the company." "They bought the company," Dr. Finch corrected. "They own 60% of the stock through shell corporations and offshore accounts. You're the CEO, yes. Your name is on the building, yes. But you don't control anything. Not really. They do." Liam was trying to follow this. It was complicated. Business talk, money talk, things he didn't understand, but he understood one thing. "You're saying there's someone else in charge. Someone above Ms. Langford." "Not someone. An organization. Helix Capital is just a front. Behind it is a network of pharmaceutical companies, research facilities, and investors who've been working together for years. They fund drug research, rush it through trials, get FDA approval by any means necessary. Then they sell the drugs for billions. They don't care if the drugs actually work. They only care about profit. Aveline sat down hard, like her legs had stopped working. That's insane. The FDA has regulations, safety protocols. You can't just fake trial results and get away with it. You can if you own the people checking the results, Dr. Finch said. Helix has people inside the FDA, inside the IRB, inside every regulatory body that matters. They've been doing this for decades. NeuralGen is just their latest project. But people are dying, Liam said. His voice cracked. You just said the drug doesn't work. It makes people worse. How can they sell something that kills people? Because by the time anyone figures it out, they'll have made their money and moved on to the next drug, the next disease, the next group of desperate families willing to pay anything for hope. Dr. Finch looked at Liam. Your daughter. If she'd gotten into our trial, she'd be dead by now, or dying. And I would have written in her file that it was natural disease progression, not treatment failure. That's what I've been doing for 4 months. Lying in medical records, hiding deaths, making murders look like natural causes. The room spun. Liam gripped the edge of the table to steady himself. He thought he might throw up. These people. These rich, educated, important people. They were killing patients on purpose. For money. Just for money. Why are you telling us this? Aveline asked. Her voice was barely a whisper. If they're as powerful as you say, telling us puts you in danger. Why risk it? Dr. Finch laughed. It was a bitter, broken sound. Because I'm dying too. Lung cancer, stage 4. I have maybe 6 months left. They can't threaten me anymore, can't control me. I've spent my whole career lying, cheating, helping rich men get richer while patients died. I can't fix everything I've done, but maybe I can fix this. Maybe I can help you save your brother before it's too late. Aveline stood up, walked over to him. For a moment, Liam thought she might hit him. She looked angry enough, but instead, she just stood there, staring at him, trying to see if he was telling the truth. How do I save Kellen? Tell me exactly what I need to do. You need to get him out of the trial, tonight, right now if possible. They're planning to move all the critical patients to a facility in North Valley tomorrow morning. Once they're there, you won't be able to reach him. They'll say he died of natural causes. They'll cremate the body before you can get an autopsy. He'll just be another statistic. I'll call his care facility right now, have him transferred to a different hospital. They won't let you, Dr. Finch said. You signed legal documents when Kellen entered the trial. You gave up medical power of attorney to the research team. You can't just pull him out. You need their permission, and they'll never give it. Liam watched Aveline's face crumble. She looked lost, helpless, like how he felt every time he watched Maya struggle to remember his name. So what do I do? Just let them kill my brother. Watch him die while I stand here knowing the truth. You break him out, Liam heard himself say. Both of them turned to look at him. He couldn't believe he'd spoken, couldn't believe what he was suggesting. But Maya's face flashed in his mind. That moment when she didn't recognize him. The terror in her eyes. He'd do anything to save her. Anything. Ms. Langford would do the same for her brother. You go get him, tonight, before they can move him. That's kidnapping, Aveline said. That's about 40 different laws. I could go to prison? Better prison than burying your brother, Liam said quietly. Aveline stared at him. Then slowly, very slowly, she smiled. It wasn't a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who'd just decided to burn their whole life down and didn't care anymore. All right, let's say I'm crazy enough to do this. How the facility where Kellen is staying has security, cameras, locked doors. I can't just walk in and carry him out. You can't, Dr. Finch said. But I can. I'm the lead researcher. I have access to every facility, every patient. I can walk right in, disconnect his IV wheel, him out in a transport chair, and no one will question me. As far as they know, I'm moving him to North Valley a day early. Why would you help us? Aveline asked. If they find out you betrayed them, they'll destroy you. Cancer or not, they can still hurt you. Let them try, Dr. Finch said. I'm not afraid anymore. I should have stopped this months ago. I should have spoken up the moment I realized what was happening. I didn't. I was a coward. But I'm not being a coward anymore. Liam felt something rising in his chest. Hope. Real hope. For the first time in 11 months. If you can save Ms. Langford's brother, if you can get him out safely, maybe you can help find a real cure. A treatment that actually works. For Maya. For other kids like her. Dr. Finch looked at him for a long moment. His eyes were wet. I'll try, son. I can't promise anything, but I'll try. Aveline was already moving, pulling out her phone, typing rapidly. I need my head of security. Graves. He's loyal. Been with me for 10 years. If anyone can help us do this quietly, it's him. She looked up at Dr. Finch. When can you get Kellen out? Tonight. Midnight. The facility has minimal staff then, just a few nurses. One security guard at the front desk. I'll say I need to run an emergency assessment. They'll let me in. Where do we take him once he's out? Somewhere safe. Somewhere Helix can't reach him. Do you have anywhere like that? Aveline thought for a moment. My family's lake house. 2 hours north. It's in a trust under a different name. They won't think to look there. We can hide him for a few days while we figure out what to do next. What about evidence? Liam asked. You need proof of what they've been doing. Proof that'll hold up in court. Otherwise, it's just your word against theirs. Dr. Finch nodded. The research facility in North Valley. That's where they keep all the real data, the actual trial results, the death records, everything they've been hiding. It's all stored on their secure servers. If you could get into that facility, access those files, you'd have everything you need. Can you get us in? Aveline asked. I can try. I have access codes, but they change them frequently. And the facility has serious security, armed guards, motion sensors, cameras everywhere. It's not a hospital. It's more like a fortress. Then how do we get in? Aveline pressed. Liam looked at his hands, his janitor's hands. Rough. Calloused. Hands that knew every service entrance in downtown Chicago. Every maintenance tunnel. Every overlooked access point that rich people forgot existed because they never had to think about how buildings actually worked. I might know a way. They both turned to him. What do you mean? Aveline asked. These big research facilities, they all have the same basic structure. Main entrance in front with all the security. But in back there's always service entrances. For deliveries, for maintenance crews, for janitors like me. Those entrances usually have basic locks. Sometimes they're not even locked at all because people are careless. They figure nobody important uses those doors, so why bother with serious security? Dr. Finch was nodding slowly. He's right. North Valley has a loading dock in back, service corridor that leads into the main building. I've used it a few times when I needed to bring in equipment after hours. You think you can get us in through there? Aveline asked Liam. Maybe, probably. I've broken into locked buildings before. When I've forgotten my keys or when a door gets jammed. It's not hard if you know what you're doing. Aveline laughed. It was a real laugh this time. A CEO, a dying scientist, and a janitor breaking into a research facility to steal evidence of medical fraud. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Your brother is dying, Liam said simply. My daughter is dying. Insane is all we've got left. She looked at him, really looked at him, the same way Dr. Finch had earlier, seeing him as a person, an equal. You don't have to do this, she said quietly. This isn't your fight. You could walk away right now, go home to Maya, keep her safe. No one would blame you. I can't walk away, Liam said. Not anymore. I've spent 11 months praying for a miracle, praying for God to show me what to do, to give me some way to save my baby girl. And then I found that paper. And then I saw you this morning. And now I'm sitting here listening to a man tell me there might be a way to stop these people. A way to find a real cure. I can't walk away from that. I won't. even if it's dangerous, even if I'm scared. I have to try. For Maya, for your brother, for every other family that's going to lose someone they love because rich men wanted to get richer." His voice broke on the last word. Tears ran down his face again. He didn't try to hide them this time. Wasn't ashamed. He was just a father. A desperate, broken, determined father who'd finally found something worth fighting for. Aveline reached across the table, took his hands in hers. Her hands were soft, manicured, expensive. His hands were rough, scarred from years of hard work. But in that moment, they were the same. Both of them were just people trying to save someone they loved. "Okay," she said. "We do this together. All of us. We save Kellen. We get the evidence. We expose these monsters, and then we make them pay for every single person they've hurt." Dr. Finch cleared his throat. "There's something else you need to know. About Helix. About what they'll do when they realize you're coming after them. These aren't normal businessmen. They're criminals. Rich criminals with connections everywhere. Police, politicians, judges. If they decide you're a threat, they'll eliminate you. Permanently." "Are you trying to scare us?" Aveline asked. "I'm trying to prepare you. 2 years ago, another researcher tried to expose them. Dr. Sarah Chen. Brilliant woman. She'd discovered one of their drugs was causing heart attacks. She gathered evidence, went to the FDA, was about to go public." He paused. "Her car went off a bridge 3 days later. Police said it was an accident, mechanical failure. But I know better. Helix killed her, made it look like an accident, and they'll do the same to you if they get the chance." Liam felt cold all over. These people didn't just lie and cheat. They murdered. Actually murdered people to protect their secrets. He thought about Maya, about his mother. If something happened to him, who would take care of them? Who would protect them? But then he thought about that paper in his pocket, about the 13 people who died because of Neuralgen, about all the future patients who'd die if nobody stopped this. He couldn't walk away. Not anymore. "When do we start?" Aveline looked at her watch. "It's 10 in the morning now. Midnight is 14 hours away. That gives us time to plan, to prepare. Graves will meet us here in an hour. We'll go over every detail, every possible problem. We're only going to get one chance at this. We can't mess it up." Dr. Finch stood to leave. "I'll go prepare, get everything ready at the facility. Make sure the staff won't question me when I show up tonight. I'll text you when I have Kellen safe." "Marcus," Aveline said. He stopped at the door. "Thank you. I know you've done terrible things. I know you've been part of this nightmare. But you're trying to make it right. That matters. That means something." He nodded. Didn't say anything. Just left. The door closed softly behind him. Liam and Aveline sat in silence for a moment, the weight of what they were about to do pressing down on both of them. "You should call your mother," Aveline said finally. "Tell her you might be late tonight, that you have something important to do. Don't tell her what. The less she knows, the safer she is." Liam pulled out his phone. His hands were shaking. He dialed. His mother answered on the second ring. "Mijo, you okay? You never call during the day." "I'm fine, Mama. I just wanted to let you know I might be late tonight. After my shift, I have something I need to take care of." There was a pause. His mother knew him too well. "This is about that paper, isn't it? About the medicine?" "Mama, I can't talk about it right now, but I need you to do something for me. I need you to take Maya to Aunt Rose's house tonight. Stay there until I call you. Don't go back to the apartment. Don't answer the door if anyone knocks. Just stay with Rosa and keep Maya safe." "Liam, you're scaring me. What's happening?" "I'm trying to help someone, Mama. Someone whose brother is sick like Maya. And there are bad people who don't want us to help. So I need to know you and Maya are somewhere safe. Please, just do this for me." Another long pause. Then, Okay, mijo. I'll take her to Rose's. But you be careful. You hear me? You come home safe. Maya needs her daddy. I will, Mama, I promise. I love you. I love you too, baby. God be with you. He hung up, looked at Aveline. She's scared. She should be, Aveline said. We all should be. What we're about to do, it's dangerous. Really dangerous. Are you sure you want to go through with this? Last chance to walk away? Liam thought about Maya's face, her smile, her laugh. The way she used to run to him when he came home from work. The way she didn't anymore because her legs didn't work right. The way she'd looked at him last Tuesday and asked who he was. His beautiful baby girl who was disappearing a little more every day. I'm sure. Okay then, Aveline said. She stood up, straightened her jacket. The CEO mask was back, but Liam could see the cracks in it now. Could see the scared sister underneath. Let's go save my brother, and then let's burn these bastards to the ground. Graves arrived 30 minutes later. He was a big man, over 6 feet tall, shoulders like a linebacker, but his eyes were kind. The kind of eyes that had seen bad things and chose to be good anyway. He looked at Liam sitting in the conference room, wrists still zip-tied, face scraped and bloody. Then he looked at Aveline. Ma'am, what's going on? I got your emergency call. Something about your brother. Aveline told him everything. Every word, she didn't leave anything out. The fake drug. The deaths. Helix Capital. Dr. Finch's confession. The plan to rescue Kellen tonight. Graves listened without interrupting. His face got harder with each sentence. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. They've been killing patients, he said finally. On purpose. For money. Yes. And your brother is one of them. Yes. Graves walked over to Liam, pulled out a knife. Liam flinched, but Graves just cut the zip ties. Liam's wrists were raw, red. Graves noticed. Sorry about earlier. I was doing my job, protecting the boss. I didn't know. It's okay, Liam said, rubbing his wrists. You were just trying to keep her safe. Still am, Graves said. He turned back to Aveline. Ma'am, what you're planning, it's illegal. Breaking into a medical facility, kidnapping a patient. Even if he's your brother, even if you have good reasons, you could go to prison. I know. And these Helix people, if they're as dangerous as Dr. Finch says, they'll come after you, after all of us. I know that too. Okay then, Graves said. He pulled out his phone, started typing. I'm in. What do you need? Aveline looked surprised. Just like that. You're not going to try to talk me out of it. Would it work? No. Then I'm not going to waste time trying. You're going to do this whether I help or not. So I might as well help and try to keep you alive. He looked at Liam. Both of you. Liam felt something warm spread through his chest. Gratitude. This man didn't know him, didn't owe him anything, but he was willing to risk everything to help. Thank you. Graves nodded. Don't thank me yet. We haven't done anything except talk. Now let's figure out how to actually pull this off. They spent the next 4 hours planning. Graves pulled up maps of the care facility where Kellen was staying. Floor plans, security camera locations, staff schedules. He called in favors, got information from people he knew, built a complete picture of what they were walking into. Dr. Finch was right, Graves said. Midnight is our best window. 2 nurses on duty, 1 security guard at the front desk. Minimal activity. Finch can walk right in with his credentials. The problem is getting Kellen out. The moment they wheel him past the front desk, the guard is going to ask questions. Can you handle the guard? Aveline asked. I can distract him, pull him away from his station for a few minutes, but we'll need someone to create a diversion, something that requires his immediate attention. Liam thought for a moment. What if there's a problem in the parking lot, a car alarm going off, or someone trying to break into a vehicle? He'd have to go check it out, right? Graves smiled. That would work. I can trigger a car alarm remotely, pull the guard outside, give Finch and whoever's helping him about 5 minutes to get Kellen out. I'll help Finch, Aveline said. I'm his sister. I should be there. No, Graves said firmly. Ma'am, with respect, you're too recognizable. If this goes wrong, if someone sees you, they'll know immediately what's happening. We need someone they won't notice, someone invisible. All three of them looked at Liam. He understood. A janitor. Nobody notices janitors. Exactly, Graves said. Finch can bring you in as his assistant. Say he needs help moving equipment. You'll blend in. Look like you belong there. Liam's heart started racing. He'd agreed to help. Agreed to be part of this. But hearing it laid out like this, hearing his actual role made it real, made it terrifying. What if I mess up? What if I do something wrong and they catch us? Then we all go to prison, Graves said. He wasn't trying to be mean, just honest. This is serious, Liam. This isn't a game. If you're not ready, if you're having doubts, now's the time to say so. Liam thought about Maya, about his mother taking her to Aunt Rose's house right now, about the promise he'd made to come home safe. But he also thought about Kellen, about every other patient who died because Neuralgen was poison, about the future patients who would die if nobody stopped this. I'm ready. Tell me what to do. They went over it again and again, every step, every detail, what to say if someone asked questions, where to stand, how to move. Liam memorized it all. He had to. There wouldn't be time to think once they were inside. He'd have to act on instinct. By 4 p.m, they had a plan. It wasn't perfect. There were a dozen things that could go wrong, but it was the best they could do. Graves left to prepare the equipment they'd need. Aveline made phone calls, setting up the lake house, making sure everything was ready for when they arrived with Kellen. Liam sat alone in the conference room, exhausted, terrified. He pulled out his phone, called his mother. Mijo, we're at Rosa's, she said. Maya keeps asking why we're here. What do I tell her? Tell her it's an adventure. Tell her Grandma wanted to have a sleepover with Aunt Rosa. She'll believe that. Is she safe here? Are we safe? You're safe, Mama. I promise. Just stay there until I call you tomorrow. Don't leave for any reason. And you? Are you safe? Liam closed his eyes, thought about lying. But his mother would know. She always knew. I'm doing something important tonight, something that might help Maya. I can't tell you more than that, but I need you to trust me. Can you do that? There was a long silence. Then his mother's voice, soft and scared. I trust you, mijo. You're a good man, a good father. Whatever you're doing it for the right reasons. I know that. But please, please be careful. Come home to us. I will, Mama. I love you. I love you too, baby. God will protect you. I'm praying. I'll pray all night. He hung up, put his head in his hands, let himself feel the fear for just a moment. Then he pushed it down, locked it away. He couldn't afford to be scared right now. Maya needed him to be brave. Kellen needed him to be brave. So that's what he'd be. The hours crawled by. Aveline ordered food, but nobody ate much. They were too nervous, too focused on what was coming. At 10 o'clock, Dr. Finch texted. Everything was ready. He'd be at the facility by 11:30. Liam and Graves should arrive at 11:45. At 11:15, they left. Graves drove. Liam sat in the passenger seat wearing a maintenance uniform Graves had gotten from somewhere. He looked like what he was. A janitor. Someone who belonged in back hallways and service corridors. Someone invisible. They didn't talk much during the drive. What was there to say? They all knew the plan. They all knew the risks. Talking wouldn't change anything. About 10 minutes from the facility, Graves spoke. You ever done anything like this before, breaking the rules? Taking risks? No, Liam said. I've spent my whole life following the rules, working hard, keeping my head down, being invisible. I thought if I just did everything right, life would work out. My wife would get better. Maya would be healthy. Everything would be okay. He laughed bitterly. That didn't work out so well. Sometimes following the rules isn't enough, Graves said. Sometimes you have to break them, for the right reasons. You've broken rules before. More times than I can count. I was in the military, special operations. We broke rules all the time. To save lives. To protect people who couldn't protect themselves. Got me in trouble more than once, but I'd do it all again. He glanced at Liam. What you're doing tonight for your daughter, for Kellen. That's the kind of rule-breaking I can respect. They pulled into a parking lot 2 blocks from the facility, sat in the dark, waiting. At 11:43, Liam's phone buzzed. A text from Dr. Finch. I'm inside. Come now. Graves handed Liam a small earpiece. Put this in. I'll be able to hear you. If anything goes wrong, just say the word red. I'll know you need help. Liam put in the earpiece. His hands were shaking so bad he could barely get it in. Graves noticed. Hey, look at me. You're going to be fine. You're going to walk in there, help Finch get Kellen, walk out, easy. What if someone recognizes me from this morning? From the news, my face was probably on TV. You were on the ground, face down. Nobody got a good look at you. And even if they did, you think anyone's going to connect a guy in a maintenance uniform with a janitor who caused a bomb scare downtown. You're nobody to them. Remember that. Use it. Liam nodded. He was nobody. He'd been nobody his whole life. Tonight, that was his strength. He got out of the car, started walking toward the facility. His legs felt weak. His heart hammered against his ribs. Every instinct screamed at him to run, to go back to the car, to go home to Maya and forget any of this happened. But he kept walking, 1 foot in front of the other, around to the back of the building, to the service entrance. The door was propped open. Dr. Finch stood just inside. He looked terrible, gray, sweating, sick, but his eyes were clear, determined. You came, he said. I said I would. A lot of people say things. Not many follow through. He handed Liam a clipboard. Hold this. Look busy. If anyone asks, you're here to check the ventilation system. There's been complaints about air quality. You understand? I understand. They walked through the corridor. It was quiet, dim. Most of the lights were off to let patients sleep. They passed a nurse's station. A young woman looked up, saw Dr. Finch, smiled. Evening, doctor? Working late? Just checking on a patient. This is maintenance. Air quality inspection. She glanced at Liam. He held up the clipboard, tried to look bored, like he did this every night, like it was nothing. She nodded, went back to her charts. They kept walking. That was good, Dr. Finch whispered. You're a natural. They reached a door at the end of the hall. Dr. Finch swiped his card. The lock clicked. They went inside. It was a private room, dark except for the glow of medical monitors. In the bed lay a man, thin, pale, tubes and wires everywhere. His eyes were closed but moving under the lids, dreaming, or maybe having a nightmare. That's Kellen, Dr. Finch said softly. Aveline's brother. Liam moved closer, looked at the man's face. He was young, maybe 30. He should have been healthy, strong, living his life. Instead, he was here, dying, poisoned by the very medicine that was supposed to save him. Liam felt rage burning in his chest. These people, these monsters, they did this. They took a healthy man and destroyed him for profit. Help me disconnect him, Dr. Finch said. The IV first, then the monitors. We need to move fast once we unplug him. The nurse's station will get an alert that his monitors went offline. Liam helped. His hands were steadier now. Purpose had replaced fear. They worked quickly, efficiently, disconnecting tubes, removing sensors. Dr. Finch pulled a syringe from his pocket, injected something into Kellen's arm. What's that? Liam asked. Something to keep him calm. He's going to be confused when he wakes up. disoriented. This will keep him quiet until we get him out. Dr. Finch grabbed a wheelchair from the corner. Help me move him. Together they lifted Kellen. He was heavier than he looked. Dead weight. They got him into the wheelchair, covered him with a blanket. Dr. Finch pulled out his phone, texted something. 30 seconds later, Liam's earpiece crackled. Graves's voice. Car alarm is active. Guard just left his post. You've got 4 minutes. Move. Dr. Finch pushed the wheelchair. Liam walked beside him, clipboard in hand, looking like he belonged there. They moved quickly, but not too quickly. Running would attract attention. They had to look normal. Routine. Just a doctor moving a patient. Just maintenance doing their job. They passed the nurse's station. The young woman from before looked up, frowned. Dr. Finch, where are you taking that patient? Emergency transfer to North Valley. Critical decline. They need specialist equipment we don't have here. At midnight, I didn't see any transfer orders. They just came through. Check your system. Should be there now. She turned to her computer, started typing. Dr. Finch kept moving. They were almost at the exit. Almost there. The nurse called out. Doctor, wait. I don't see any orders. The system shows no transfers scheduled for tonight. Dr. Finch stopped. Turned. His face was perfectly calm. Must be a system delay. You know how it is. I'll have administration send the paperwork in the morning. But we need to move now. Patient is critical. The nurse stood up. She wasn't buying it. Liam could see doubt in her eyes. Suspicion. She reached for the phone on her desk. I need to call my supervisor. Verify this transfer. Everything seemed to slow down. Liam watched her hand move toward the phone. Watched her fingers about to pick it up. In about 5 seconds, she'd make that call. In 10 seconds, security would know something was wrong. In 20 seconds, they'd all be caught, arrested. It would all be over. He couldn't let that happen, wouldn't let that happen. He moved without thinking, walked straight toward the nurse's station, put on his best worried face. Ma'am, excuse me, I think I made a mistake. In room 247. I was checking the air vents, and I think I might have loosened something. There's a hissing sound. Could be a gas leak. You should probably check it right away. The nurse's hand froze over the phone. A gas leak. I'm not sure. Could be nothing. But better safe than sorry, right? Room 247. Far end of the building. She looked at him. At Dr. Finch. At the patient in the wheelchair. Making a decision. Okay, I'll check it. But doctor, don't leave until I get back. I still need to verify that transfer. Of course, Dr. Finch said smoothly. We'll wait right here. The nurse walked away. Fast. Worried about the gas leak. The moment she turned the corner, Dr. Finch pushed the wheelchair toward the exit. Move, now! They burst through the doors. Outside, air hit Liam's face. Cold, clean, free. Graves was there with the car, engine running. They lifted Kellen into the back seat. Dr. Finch climbed in beside him. Liam got in front. Graves pulled away, smooth, calm, not speeding, not attracting attention. Just another car leaving a parking lot at midnight. 2 blocks away, Liam's earpiece crackled again. We're clear. No pursuit. You did it. Liam let out a breath he didn't know he'd been holding. His whole body started shaking. Adrenaline and fear and relief all hitting at once. They'd done it. They'd actually done it. They'd saved Kellen. Where to now? Graves asked. Dr. Finch gave an address. The Lake House. 2 hours north. They drove in silence. Liam watched the city lights disappear in the rearview mirror. Watched them get replaced by darkness. Trees. Open road. He felt like he was leaving his old life behind. The life where he followed rules and stayed invisible and prayed for miracles. He was someone different now. Someone who'd broken laws. Someone who'd fought back. Someone who'd saved a life. His phone buzzed. A text from Aveline. "Is he safe?" Liam typed back. "He's safe. We're coming to you now." 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, a message came through. "Thank you. Thank you for giving me back my brother." Liam looked at Kellen in the back seat. Unconscious, thin, sick, but alive. Still alive. "You're welcome," he whispered. "Now let's make sure he stays that way." In the back seat, Dr. Finch checked Kellen's pulse, his breathing. "He's stable. The sedative is working. He'll sleep for a few more hours. When he wakes up, he's going to be confused, scared. We'll need to explain everything carefully, make him understand why we did this." "Will he be okay?" Liam asked. "I mean long term. Will he recover from what the drug did to him?" Dr. Finch was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know. The damage Neuralgen causes is severe. Some of it might be permanent. But now that he's off the drug, his decline should stop. His body can start trying to heal. Whether he'll fully recover, whether he'll ever be the man he was before, I can't promise anything." It wasn't the answer Liam wanted, but it was honest. That was something. It's better than dying, better than what would have happened if we'd left him there. "Yes," Dr. Finch agreed. "It's better than dying." They drove through the night, past sleeping towns and empty highways, toward the lake house, toward safety, toward whatever came next. Liam closed his eyes, thought about Maya, about his mother praying for him at Aunt Rosa's house, about the promise he'd made to come home safe. He'd kept that promise. He was alive. They all were. They'd won the first battle, but the war was just beginning. Tomorrow they'd have to figure out what to do next, how to expose Helix, how to protect themselves, how to find a real cure. But tonight, right now in this moment, they could rest. They could breathe. They could let themselves feel what they'd accomplished. They'd saved a life. One life. It didn't fix everything. Didn't cure Maya. Didn't bring back the 13 people who'd died in the trial. But it was something. It was a start. And sometimes a start was all you needed. Sometimes one act of courage could change everything. Could set in motion a chain of events that led to justice. To healing. To hope. Liam opened his eyes, looked out at the dark road ahead. Somewhere out there the sun would rise. A new day would begin. And when it did, they'd be ready. Ready to fight. Ready to expose the truth. Ready to make sure no other family would have to watch their loved ones die because rich men wanted to get richer. "Almost there," Graves said. "Another 20 minutes." Liam nodded. 20 minutes until they reached the lake house. 20 minutes until they were safe. 20 minutes until the real work began. He was ready. More ready than he'd ever been in his life. Because he wasn't just fighting for himself anymore. He was fighting for Maya, for Kellen, for every patient who'd ever trusted a doctor and been betrayed, for every family who'd ever believed in a miracle and been sold poison instead. They'd started something tonight, something that couldn't be stopped. And Liam Byrne, the invisible janitor who nobody ever noticed, was right in the middle of it, exactly where he needed to be. The lake house appeared through the trees like something from a dream. Warm lights glowing in the windows, a porch wrapping around the front. It looked peaceful, safe, nothing like the nightmare they'd just escaped. Aveline was waiting on the porch. She ran down the steps the moment Graves pulled up. Her hair was messy. She wasn't wearing her CEO suit anymore, just jeans and a sweater. She looked younger, more human, more like a scared sister than a powerful executive. "Is he okay? Is Kellen okay?" Dr. Finch opened the back door. "He's sedated, stable. We need to get him inside, get him warm and comfortable. He'll wake up in a few hours." They carried Kellen into the house. There was a bedroom ready, clean sheets, soft pillows. Aveline had prepared everything. They laid him down gently. Dr. Finch checked his pulse again, his breathing, his eyes. His vitals are good, strong, better than I expected actually. Being off the drug for just a few hours and his body is already trying to recover. Aveline sat on the edge of the bed, took her brother's hand. Her hand was shaking. Kellen, it's me. It's Aveline. You're safe now. I promise. You're safe. Kellen didn't respond, didn't move, just kept breathing, slow and steady, alive. Liam watched from the doorway, watched Aveline hold her brother's hand like it was the most precious thing in the world. It reminded him of how he held Maya's hand every morning while she slept. That desperate grip. Like if you held tight enough, you could keep them from slipping away. I need to call my mother, Liam said quietly. Let her know I'm okay. Aveline looked up. Her eyes were wet. Use the phone in the kitchen. Take as long as you need. Liam walked down the hallway. Found the kitchen. Old-fashioned. Cozy. The kind of kitchen where families gathered, where children did homework at the table while their mother cooked dinner, where love lived in every corner. He pulled out his phone, dialed. His mother answered before the first ring finished. Mijo, thank God. Are you okay? Are you safe? I'm safe, Mama. Everything went fine. Better than fine. We did what we needed to do. And the person you were helping, their brother, he's safe too. We got him out. He's going to be okay. He heard his mother start to cry, soft, relieved. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. I've been praying all night. Didn't sleep, just prayed and prayed. And he heard me. He kept you safe. He did, Mama. God kept us all safe. How's Maya? She's sleeping. Rosa put her to bed an hour ago. She asked about you. Wanted to know when Daddy was coming home. I told her soon. I told her you were doing something important, something to help people. Liam's throat tightened. Tell her I love her. Tell her Daddy will be home tomorrow. And Mama, I need you to stay at Rosa's one more day, just to be safe. Can you do that? Of course, Mijo. Whatever you need. Just promise me this is over. Promise me you're not in danger anymore. Liam wanted to promise. Wanted to tell her everything was fine, but he couldn't lie. Not to his mother. It's not over yet, Mama. We still have work to do. But I promise I'll be careful. I promise I'll come home. I trust you, baby. I trust God is watching over you. But please, please don't do anything too dangerous. Maya needs her father. I need my son. I know, Mama. I love you. I love you too. Go do what you need to do. I'll keep praying. He hung up, stood there in that warm kitchen, feeling the weight of everything pressing down on him. The fear, the exhaustion, the knowledge that they'd only won one battle and the war was just beginning. He heard footsteps behind him, turned. Aveline stood in the doorway. Your mother sounds like a good woman, she said. She is. Best woman I know. Raised me by herself after my father left. Worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. Taught me to pray, to be honest, to fight for what's right even when it's hard. He smiled sadly. She's probably having a heart attack right now worrying about me. Mine would be the same, Aveline said, if she were still alive. She died 5 years ago, cancer. Kellen and I were all we have left. Our father died when we were young. No aunts or uncles, no cousins, just us. That's why I had to save him. Why I had to take the risk. He's not just my brother. He's my whole family. I understand. Do you really? She walked closer. Because I need you to understand what we're about to do next. What I'm going to ask you to do. It's going to be more dangerous than tonight. Much more dangerous. Liam already knew what she was going to say. The research facility, North Valley. You want to break in, get the evidence. We have to. Without proof, without documents showing what Helix has been doing, we have nothing. Kellen's rescue means nothing if we can't expose them. They'll just cover it up. Say he was transferred for medical reasons. Say we kidnapped him illegally. They'll spin the story and we'll look like the criminals. So we need those files, the real trial data, the death records, everything Dr. Finch talked about. Yes, and I can't do it alone. Graves can help, but he's just one man. We need someone who knows buildings, who understands service entrances and maintenance systems, who can get us in quietly. She looked at him directly. I need you, Liam. I know you've already done so much. I know you have Maya waiting at home. If you want to walk away now, I understand. But I'm asking. Please, help me finish this. Liam thought about the 13 dead patients. Thought about Kellen lying in that bed, poisoned by medicine that was supposed to save him. Thought about Maya and all the other children who might die if Helix was allowed to keep operating. When do we go? Tonight. Right now. Dr. Finch says the facility is mostly empty at night, just a few security guards. If we wait until morning, there'll be too many people, too many cameras, too many chances to get caught. We just finished one rescue mission. Now you want to start another one? We're exhausted. We need rest. Helix knows Kellen is missing by now, Aveline said. That nurse. When she came back and found him gone, she called security. They called the police. By sunrise, they'll know I'm involved. They'll freeze my accounts, revoke my access credentials, lock me out of everything. If we're going to do this, it has to be tonight, before they can stop us. She was right. Liam knew she was right. But that didn't make it less terrifying. What about Dr. Finch? Can he get us in? He's staying here with Kellen. Someone needs to monitor his condition, make sure he's okay when he wakes up. It's just going to be you, me, and Graves. 3 people breaking into a secure research facility. That's insane. Everything we've done tonight has been insane, Aveline said. But we did it anyway. We saved my brother. Now let's save everyone else those monsters plan to hurt. Graves walked into the kitchen. He'd been listening. I've been running surveillance on North Valley for the last hour. Security is light. 4 guards total. 2 at the front entrance. 1 roaming the perimeter. 1 inside monitoring the cameras. We can handle that. How? Liam asked. Same way we handled tonight. Distractions. Misdirection. Making them look one way while we slip in the other. You said you could get us in through the service entrance. That's still true. Liam nodded. Most of these big facilities use the same basic locks on their service doors. I can pick it. But once we're inside, how do we find the files? How do we even know where to look? Dr. Finch appeared in the doorway. He looked worse than before, pale, sweating. His hands shook as he held a piece of paper. Main server room, 3rd floor, East Wing. That's where they keep all the digital files. Everything is backed up there. Trial data, financial records, communications between Helix executives, all of it. How do we access it? Aveline asked. You'll need administrator credentials. I wrote mine down. He handed her the paper. Username and password. They should still work. Helix hasn't had time to lock me out yet. Should work isn't good enough, Graves said. If we get in there and the credentials don't work, we're trapped. It's the best I can offer, Dr. Finch said. I'm sorry. I wish I could give you more certainty, but this is all I have. Aveline took the paper, folded it carefully, put it in her pocket. Then it'll have to be enough. We leave in 30 minutes. Graves, get the equipment ready. Liam, get something to eat. You'll need your strength. Liam wasn't hungry, but he forced himself to eat anyway. A sandwich, some water. His body needed fuel even if his stomach was twisted in knots. While he ate, he watched through the window as Graves loaded gear into the car. Bolt cutters, flashlights, a laptop. Tools Liam didn't recognize. Professional equipment. The kind of stuff you used when breaking and entering was part of your job description. Dr. Finch sat down across from him. You don't have to do this. You know that, right? You've already done more than anyone could expect. You saved Kellen. You've earned the right to walk away. So has Ms. Langford, Liam said. But she's not walking away. Why should I? Because she's a billionaire with resources and connections. If this goes wrong, she'll survive. She'll hire lawyers. She'll fight back. But you're a janitor with a 7-year-old daughter and $1,700 in the bank. If you get caught, if you go to prison, what happens to Maya? The question hit like a punch to the gut. Liam hadn't let himself think about that. Hadn't let himself imagine being arrested, being locked away. Maya growing up without him. His mother trying to raise her alone. My mother would take care of her. Your 72-year-old mother with arthritis. For how many years? Maya has at least a year left. Maybe more if we can find a real treatment. Can your mother handle a sick child for that long? She'd find a way. She always does. Dr. Finch leaned forward. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to make you understand the stakes. This isn't a game. Helix has killed people to protect their secrets. They'll kill again if they have to, and they won't hesitate to destroy you if you get in their way. I know, Liam said quietly. I know what I'm risking. But Dr. Finch, I've spent 11 months watching my daughter die. Watching her forget how to hold a pencil, forget how to tie her shoes, forget my name. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what it does to a father to watch his child disappear piece by piece and not be able to do anything about it? Dr. Finch's eyes filled with tears. Yes, I do. I had a son once, 20 years ago. He had leukemia. I was just starting my career, didn't have money for the best treatments, didn't have connections. I watched him die over 8 months. He was 6 years old. Liam felt his anger drain away. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Nobody knows. I don't talk about it. But that's why I got into this business. Research, drug development. I wanted to save children like my son. I wanted to make sure other fathers didn't have to watch their babies die. And instead, I ended up working for monsters who kill patients for profit. I ended up becoming the thing I hated most. He wiped his eyes. You can still be better than me, Liam. You can still choose to protect your daughter instead of risking everything on a desperate mission that might fail. But it might not fail, Liam said. It might work. We might get those files. We might expose Helix. We might save thousands of lives, including Maya's. Because if we shut them down, if we force real research to happen, maybe someone will find a real cure. Maybe my daughter will get to grow up, go to school, fall in love, have children of her own. Maybe she'll get to live instead of just survive. Dr. Finch smiled sadly. You sound like me 20 years ago, full of hope. Full of faith that one person can make a difference. One person can't, Liam said. But 4 people can. You, me, Ms. Langford, and Graves. We're not alone in this. We're together. And together maybe we're strong enough to win. I hope you're right, son. I really do. Aveline appeared in the doorway. She'd changed clothes, dark jeans, dark jacket. Her hair pulled back. She looked different, dangerous, like someone ready to fight. It's time. Graves has the car ready. We need to move now. Liam stood up. His legs felt weak, but he forced them to support him. He walked to the car, got in the back seat. Aveline sat beside him. Graves drove. They pulled away from the lake house, away from safety, toward North Valley. Toward the most dangerous thing any of them had ever done. Nobody spoke during the drive. What was there to say? They all knew the plan. They all knew the risks. Speaking would just make the fear worse. Liam closed his eyes, thought about Maya, about her smile, her laugh, the way she used to run to him when he came home from work, before she got sick, before everything fell apart. He held that image in his mind, used it as armor against the fear trying to consume him. 40 minutes later they arrived. North Valley Research Facility sat on the edge of the city, surrounded by empty lots and industrial buildings, isolated, perfect for doing things you didn't want anyone to see. The main building was 5 stories, glass and steel, Cold, impersonal, evil wearing a modern face. Graves parked 3 blocks away, killed the engine. Okay, last chance to back out. Anyone having second thoughts? Silence. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. All right then, Graves said. Let's do this. Liam, you're up first. Get us in through that service entrance. Aveline and I will cover you. They got out of the car, moved through the shadows. 3 people who shouldn't be there, doing something they shouldn't do, for reasons that made perfect sense and no sense at all. The service entrance was around back, just like Liam predicted. A metal door, a simple lock. The kind of lock that was easy to pick if you knew what you were doing. Liam pulled out the tools Graves had given him. His hands were steady now. The fear had burned away, left behind nothing but focus, purpose. He worked the lock, felt the pins clicking. 1, 2, 3. The lock turned. The door opened. They were in. Stage 1 complete. Now came the hard part. Getting to the 3rd floor. Finding the server room. Downloading the files. And getting out alive. Liam looked at Aveline, at Graves. They looked back at him. 3 people bound together by desperation and hope. 3 people about to risk everything. Stay close, Graves whispered. Stay quiet. If we see anyone, we run. Don't fight. Don't engage. Just run. Understood. They nodded. Graves led the way, down a service corridor, past supply closets and maintenance rooms, toward a stairwell. They climbed. 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors. Every step felt like it might be their last. Every shadow looked like a guard about to discover them. But they kept moving, kept climbing, kept pushing forward. The 3rd floor was dark, quiet. Graves checked his phone, pulled up the building schematic Dr. Finch had sent. East wing, down this hallway, 3rd door on the right. They moved like ghosts, silent, invisible, just like Liam had been his whole life. But this time being invisible was saving them instead of diminishing them. They reached the door. Server room 3E. Graves tried the handle. Locked. He looked at Liam. Liam went to work again. This lock was harder, more sophisticated. His hands started to sweat. The pick slipped. He had to start over. Behind him he heard footsteps. Voices. Guards. Getting closer. Liam, Aveline whispered. Hurry. His hands were shaking now. The picks kept slipping. He couldn't get it. Couldn't make it work. The footsteps were getting louder, the voices clearer. They were maybe 20 feet away. Maybe less. In seconds they'd turn the corner. See 3 people breaking into the server room. It would all be over. Liam, Graves said. We need to go. Now. Wait, Liam whispered. Just wait. 1 more second. 1 more try. He felt the pins. Felt them moving. Felt them clicking into place. The lock turned. The door opened. They slipped inside. Closed it behind them just as the guards rounded the corner. They stood in the darkness, barely breathing. Listening to the guards walk past, their voices fading, their footsteps disappearing. And then silence. They were safe. For now. Liam let out a breath. His whole body was shaking. He'd done it. Gotten them inside. Now it was Aveline's turn to finish the job. Graves pulled out a small flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness. Rows of servers hummed quietly. Blinking lights. Cables everywhere. This room held secrets, evidence, proof of everything Helix had done. Everything they'd hidden. All they had to do was take it. Aveline pulled out the laptop Graves had brought. Sat down at the main terminal. Her hands moved across the keyboard, fast, confident. She pulled out Dr. Finch's paper, typed in his username, his password, hit enter. Nothing happened. The screen stayed black. Then red text appeared. Access denied. No, Aveline whispered. No, no, no. Try again. She typed the credentials again, slower this time, making sure every letter was correct. Hit enter. Access denied. They locked him out, Graves said. Helix must have disabled his credentials the moment they realized Kellen was missing. We came all this way for nothing. Liam felt his hope crumbling. We risked everything, and we can't even get into the system. Aveline's fingers flew across the keyboard. There has to be another way, a backdoor, a bypass, something. She tried different commands, different approaches. Nothing worked. The system was locked tight. They were so close. The evidence was right here, right in front of them. But they couldn't reach it. We need to go, Graves said. Before those guards come back, before someone notices we're here. Wait, Aveline said. Just give me one more minute, please. Liam watched her work. Watched her refuse to give up. It reminded him of himself. Of how he kept trying to save Maya, even when the doctors said there was no hope. How he kept praying even when God seemed silent. How he'd found that paper in Dr. Finch's office and refused to throw it away. Sometimes refusing to give up was all you had. Sometimes it was enough. I'm in, Aveline said suddenly. I'm in. I found a maintenance access port. Lower security clearance, but it's something. I can see the files. She pulled up folders. Hundreds of them. Trial data, patient records, financial documents, communications, years' worth of evidence, all of it proving what Helix had done, how they'd falsified results, how they'd hidden deaths, how they'd bribed officials. Everything. How long to download all of it? Graves asked. Too long. We don't have time. I need to be selective. Just the most important files. Her hands moved across the keyboard. Selecting, copying, downloading. Patient death records. Trial data showing the drug doesn't work. Communications between Helix executives and FDA officials. Financial records showing the bribes. This should be enough. A progress bar appeared. 15%, 20%, 25%. It was taking forever. Every second felt like an hour. Liam kept watching the door, waiting for it to burst open, waiting for guards to pour in, waiting for everything to fall apart. 50%, 60%. The laptop's hard drive made soft clicking sounds, storing evidence, storing proof, storing the truth that would destroy Helix. Footsteps in the hallway. Liam's heart stopped. Someone was coming. Multiple someones. Voices. Angry voices. Check every room on this floor. Someone tripped a motion sensor. They're in the building. How much longer? Graves whispered. 80%. Just a few more seconds. The footsteps were right outside the door. A flashlight beam swept under the gap. Someone tried the handle. It was locked, but that wouldn't stop them for long. Liam heard keys jingling. They were going to open the door. They were going to find them. It was over. 95%, 98%, 100%. Download complete. Got it, Aveline said. She yanked the cable out, closed the laptop, shoved it into her bag. The key slid into the lock. Started to turn. Graves looked around desperately. There was another door. On the far side of the room, emergency exit. He pointed. They ran, quiet as they could. Reached the door just as the main door started to open. Graves pushed the emergency exit. An alarm blared. Loud. Piercing. The whole building would know where they were now. But they were already moving. Running down a different hallway. Toward a different stairwell. Behind them shouting. Guards yelling into radios. Footsteps pounding. Chase was on. They hit the stairs, went down fast. Too fast. Aveline stumbled. Liam caught her, kept her from falling. They kept going. Second floor, first floor, ground level. They burst out into a hallway. More guards ahead, blocking the main exit. This way! Liam shouted. He remembered the building layout. The service entrance they'd come in through. It was their only chance. He led them through corridors he understood. Maintenance areas. Storage rooms. Places guards wouldn't think to look because they never noticed the spaces where janitors worked. They reached the service entrance, slammed through it. Outside air hit their faces. Cold. Free. The car was 3 blocks away. They ran. Didn't look back. just ran like their lives depended on it. Because they did. Behind them, guards poured out of the building, flashlights sweeping, radios crackling. But Graves had parked in shadows, in a spot you wouldn't notice unless you were looking. They reached the car, jumped in. Graves started the engine, pulled away smooth and calm. Not speeding, not panicking. Just another car on a quiet street at 3 a.m. 2 blocks away, police sirens wailed, heading toward North Valley, responding to the alarm. But Graves turned the opposite direction. Away from the chaos, away from the danger, toward safety, toward freedom, toward hope. Nobody spoke for a long time. They were all breathing hard, hearts pounding, adrenaline still coursing through their veins. Finally, Aveline laughed. It was a wild, uncontrolled sound, relief mixed with disbelief. We did it. We actually did it. We have the files. We have the proof. What happens now? Liam asked. What do we do with it? We go public, Aveline said. Tomorrow morning. We send copies to every news organization in the country, to the FBI, to Congress, to medical oversight boards. We make sure everyone sees what Helix has been doing. Make sure the whole world knows. They'll come after you, Graves warned. The moment this goes public, Helix will attack. Lawyers, private investigators, maybe worse. You need to be ready for that. Let them come, Aveline said. Her voice was steel. I have evidence. I have proof. And I have the truth on my side. They can't spin their way out of this. They can't buy their way out. This time, they're going to pay for what they've done. They drove back to the lake house. The sun was starting to rise, pink and gold spreading across the sky. A new day beginning. When they arrived, Dr. Finch was waiting on the porch. He looked anxious, relieved when he saw them. Thank God. I was worried. Did you get it? Did you get the files? Aveline held up the laptop. Everything. Patient records, trial data, communications, financial documents, everything we need to destroy them. Dr. Finch's legs seemed to give out. He sat down hard on the porch steps, put his head in his hands, started to cry. Not sad tears, relief tears. It's over. Finally, after all these years, it's finally over. How's Kellen? Aveline asked. He woke up an hour ago, confused, disoriented. I explained everything as gently as I could. He's upset, angry, but he understands why you did it. He wants to see you. Aveline ran inside. Liam followed more slowly. He was exhausted. Every muscle ached. But he needed to see this. Needed to see Kellen alive and awake. Needed to know their risks had been worth it. Kellen was sitting up in bed. He looked terrible, thin, pale, but his eyes were clear, alert, alive. When Aveline walked in, he smiled. Hey, sis. Heard you've been busy, breaking me out of hospitals, fighting evil corporations. When did you become an action hero? Aveline laughed and cried at the same time, threw her arms around him, held him tight. I thought I'd lost you. I thought the medicine was working, and then Dr. Finch told me the truth and I couldn't let you die. I couldn't. You're all I have left. I'm not going anywhere, Kellen said. His voice was weak but firm. I'm going to beat this thing. Whatever it takes. However long it takes. I'm going to live. We're going to find you a real cure, Aveline promised. Real research. Real doctors who care about patients instead of profits. I'm going to use every resource I have. Every connection. Every dollar. You're going to get better. Liam watched from the doorway. This moment. This reunion. This was what they'd fought for. This was why they'd risked everything. He thought about Maya, about bringing her to real doctors, about finding her a real treatment, about giving her a chance to live instead of just slowly dying. Hope rose in his chest. Real hope this time, not the desperate prayer kind, but the kind built on action, on fighting back, on refusing to accept that evil men got to win. His phone rang. Unknown number. He almost didn't answer. But something made him pick up. Hello? Mr. Byrne? The voice was smooth, professional, cold. My name is Richard Hayes. I represent Helix Capital. I believe you have something that belongs to us. Liam's blood turned to ice. I don't know what you're talking about. Please don't insult my intelligence. You and Ms. Langford broke into our North Valley facility tonight. You stole confidential files. That's corporate espionage. Theft of trade secrets. You're looking at 20 years in federal prison. Unless we can reach an understanding. What kind of understanding? Return the files, unaltered, uncopied. Do that, and we'll forget this ever happened. We won't press charges. We won't come after you or your daughter. You can go back to your life. Forget you ever heard of Neuralgen or Helix Capital. And if I say no, then we destroy you, Hayes said simply. We'll make sure you never work again, never see your daughter again. Your mother, the one with arthritis who watches Maya at night, we'll make sure she loses her apartment, her social security, everything. You'll watch everyone you love suffer because you decided to play hero. Liam's hand tightened on the phone. You're threatening my family. I'm stating facts. You have 24 hours to return the files. After that, all bets are off. Hayes hung up. Liam stood there, phone in his shaking hand. They knew everything. His mother, Maya, where they lived, what they had to lose. Helix wasn't just evil. They were smart evil, dangerous evil, the kind that knew exactly where to hurt you. Graves appeared beside him. What's wrong? Liam told him. Told him about the call, the threats, the 24-hour deadline. Graves' face hardened. They're trying to scare you, make you back down. It's what people like them do. They can't win with the truth, so they win with fear. But what if they're not bluffing? What if they really go after my mother, after Maya? I can't risk that. I can't let my family suffer because of my choices. Aveline walked over. She'd heard everything. They won't touch your family. We're going public in 6 hours. By the time their deadline comes, the files will already be out there. Every news organization in the country will have copies. They can't threaten us if everyone already knows the truth. 6 hours is a long time, Liam said. A lot can happen in 6 hours. Then we don't wait, Aveline said. We do it now, right now. We send the files to every journalist on my contact list, to the FBI, to Congress. We flood the world with evidence before Helix can stop us. Dr. Finch appeared in the doorway. Do it from here. Use my satellite connection. It can't be traced back to this location. By the time they figure out where the files came from, you'll all be long gone. They gathered in the kitchen. Aveline opened the laptop, started composing emails, attaching files. Liam watched over her shoulder, watched her type email after email, sending evidence to reporters at the New York Times, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, CNN, Fox News, every major outlet, then to the FBI, the Department of Justice, congressional oversight committees, medical ethics boards, flooding the world with truth. Last one, Aveline said. Her finger hovered over the send button. Once I press this, there's no going back. Helix will know we've exposed them. They'll come after us with everything they have. Press it, Liam said. Let them come. We're not afraid anymore. She pressed send. The laptop made a soft whooshing sound. Emails launching into cyberspace. Carrying evidence. Carrying proof. Carrying justice. It was done. They'd done it. Exposed Helix. Exposed Neuralgen. Exposed everything. For a moment, nothing happened. They just sat there, waiting. Then Aveline's phone started ringing. Graves's phone. Dr. Finch's phone. All at once. Journalists. FBI agents. Congressional aides. Everyone responding to what they'd sent. Everyone wanting to know more. Wanting to verify. wanting to tell the story. Aveline answered her phone. "Yes, this is Aveline Langford. Yes, I'm the CEO of Langford Biomedical. Yes, everything in those files is real. I'm willing to testify. I'm willing to go on record. I'm willing to help you expose what Helix Capital has been doing." Liam listened to her talk, watched her transform from a scared sister into a warrior for justice. She was magnificent, powerful, unstoppable. This was who she really was, not the polished CEO in expensive suits, but a woman who fought for what was right no matter the cost. The calls kept coming, hour after hour. By noon, the story was everywhere. Every news channel, every website, every newspaper. The headlines screamed the truth. Major pharmaceutical conspiracy exposed. CEO blows whistle on deadly drug trial. Helix Capital under federal investigation. The world was learning what Helix had done, how they'd killed patients, hidden evidence, bribed officials, destroyed lives for profit. By evening, FBI agents arrived at the lake house, not to arrest them, to protect them, to take their statements, to gather evidence for prosecution. Aveline told them everything. Liam told them everything. Dr. Finch told them everything. The agents listened, recorded, took notes. When they were finished, the lead agent shook their hands. "What you did was incredibly brave," she said, "and incredibly illegal, breaking and entering, theft, kidnapping a patient from a care facility. Under normal circumstances, I'd be arresting all of you. But given the evidence you've provided, given the lives you've saved by exposing this conspiracy, I'm recommending immunity. You won't face charges. You'll be protected as whistleblowers." Liam felt tears streaming down his face. It was really over. They weren't going to prison. They weren't going to be destroyed. They'd won. They'd actually won. Over the next weeks, everything unraveled for Helix Capital. Federal raids on their offices, arrests of executives, seizure of assets. The company collapsed like a house of cards. Everyone involved was exposed. Everyone faced justice. Neurogen was pulled from trials immediately. Patients still alive were switched to supportive care. Some would recover. Some wouldn't. But at least they wouldn't be poisoned anymore. Aveline kept her promise. She transformed Langford Biomedical, fired everyone who'd known about the fraud, brought in new leadership, new scientists, people who cared about patients instead of profits. She poured millions into real research for neurosynaptic decay syndrome, real trials, real hope. 3 months later, Kellen walked out of the hospital, slowly, carefully, but on his own feet. The damage from Neurogen was severe. He'd never fully recover. But he was alive. He was walking. He was living. That was enough. 6 months later, Maya enrolled in a new trial. Real research this time. Honest doctors. A treatment that actually worked. Not a cure. Not yet. But something that slowed the disease. Gave her more time. Bought her years instead of months. She started getting better. Little by little. Her hands got steadier. Her memory improved. She could hold a pencil again, could tie her shoes, could remember her daddy's name without struggling. 1 year later, Liam stood on the porch of a new house. Not his cramped apartment. A real house with a yard where Maya could play. Bought with money from the foundation Aveline had created. The Langford Burn Foundation for Neurological Research, named after both families who'd fought to expose the truth. The foundation funded real research, supported families dealing with rare diseases, made sure no one had to choose between hope and honesty. Aveline pulled up in her car, got out, walked over to where Liam stood. She looked different now, softer, happier, like a weight had been lifted. "How's Maya?" "Good, really good. She's inside doing homework. Normal 7-year-old homework, math and spelling. Things she couldn't do a year ago." "And Kellen?" "He's teaching again, part-time, at the university. Still has some bad days, but more good days than bad. He's living his life. That's all we can ask for." "That's everything," Aveline corrected. She looked out at the sunset. "Do you ever think about that morning, when you screamed at me not to get in my car, when you risked everything to tell me the truth?" "Every day." "Do you regret it? All the danger we went through, all the risks?" Liam thought about it. Really thought about it. "No, I don't regret it. Because Maya's alive, Kellen's alive, and Helix is gone. They can't hurt anyone else. That's worth everything we went through." Maya ran out onto the porch, her hair flying, her smile bright. She crashed into Liam's legs, hugged him tight. "Daddy, Grandma says dinner's almost ready. She made your favorite. And Ms. Aveline, you're staying, right? Please say you're staying." Aveline smiled. "I'm staying. I wouldn't miss it." They went inside, together. This family they'd built from desperation and hope. Liam's mother, Maya, Aveline and Kellen, Dr. Finch, who'd become like an uncle to Maya, Graves, who still worked security but now protected people worth protecting. All of them gathered around a table, sharing a meal, sharing their lives, bound together by what they'd survived, what they'd fought for, what they'd won. After dinner, Maya showed Aveline her latest drawing. It showed stick figures holding hands under a bright sun. "That's me," she said, pointing. "And Daddy, and Grandma, and you, and Uncle Kellen, and Dr. Finch, and Mr. Graves. We're all together. We're all happy." "It's beautiful," Aveline said. Her voice was thick with emotion. "Can I keep it?" "Of course, it's for you. Because you saved Uncle Kellen. And Daddy says you helped save me too. So you're a hero. Heroes deserve pictures." "I'm not a hero," Aveline said. "Your daddy is the hero. He's the one who found the truth, who refused to stay quiet, who risked everything to save people he'd never met. That's what heroes do." "Then you're both heroes," Maya said simply, "and I love you both." Later that night, after everyone had gone home after Maya was asleep, Liam sat on his porch, looking at the stars, thinking about everything that had happened, everything that had changed. A year ago, he'd been a desperate janitor with no hope and no options. Now he was a father whose daughter was getting better. A man who'd helped expose a criminal conspiracy. A person who'd made a difference. His phone buzzed. A text from Aveline. "Thank you. For everything. For being brave when I needed someone to be brave. For refusing to give up. For saving my brother. Thank you." Liam typed back. "Thank you for listening. For believing me. For fighting with me. You saved my daughter. You gave her a future. I can never repay that." "You already have," Aveline replied. "You taught me what really matters. Not money or power or success, but family, truth, doing what's right, even when it's hard. Those are the things worth fighting for." Liam looked through the window at Maya sleeping peacefully, her chest rising and falling, steady, strong, alive. He thought about all the other children who'd survive now because Helix was gone, all the families who wouldn't have to watch their loved ones die from fake medicine. All the lives saved because one janitor found a piece of paper and refused to throw it away. Sometimes one person really could make a difference. Sometimes refusing to stay silent was enough. Sometimes love and desperation and courage could change the world. Not the whole world, maybe, but someone's world. Maya's world. Kellen's world. That was enough. That was everything. He whispered into the night. "Thank you, God, for answering my prayers, for giving me strength, for showing me what to do, for letting me save my baby girl. Thank you." Somewhere in the darkness, he felt an answer. Not words, just peace, just the knowledge that he'd done what he was meant to do, that he'd fought the good fight, that he'd won. His daughter was alive. Evil had been exposed. Justice had been served. And tomorrow the sun would rise on a world that was just a little bit better because one invisible janitor decided to be seen.